You've likely been spending hours in the gym thinking that's where fat loss happens, but the truth is, your results are more influenced in the choices you make in the kitchen. So in this video I'll explain why the kitchen is so important in your pursuit of better health, and also why it can be the very place that is causing you to fail and struggle. And also what I'm going to do is give you some recommendations to make your kitchen life a little bit easier if you're not a big fan of it, because there are some absolute whoppers out there that hate cooking, which is absolutely mental. Anyway, with what the title is of the video, you might be thinking, well, going to the gym is absolutely pointless then, James, isn't it? But I didn't actually say the gym was pointless, did I? I'm one of those guys that can't do the gym without eating well, and also can't eat well without the gym. It's helpful and also a hindrance at the same time. But more often than not, it helps me stay on point 99% of the time. The gym is important, obviously. It's where you put the foundations down on what you want to build, help stay mobile and keep your energy up, amongst many other things. But what many of you don't know is the adaptations from the gym takes place when you're resting and away from the gym. But where you change your body is in the kitchen and what you consume, which is what most people want to do. And the food you take in from the kitchen helps with those adaptations, helps with recovery and keep energy levels up, and helps you stay full. What you eat directly impacts if you're going to be in a good mood or not. What do I think is more important overall between the gym and nutrition? Good question. They obviously work in tandem. I think food has more influence on your day-to-day overall feeling. Let me know what you think. Tell me I'm wrong. So James, why is the kitchen so important and influential in my progress? I'm going to start off with this wee story. My kid was 5 on her birthday on Hogmanay. We had a wee birthday at the house with family, and we bought a bunch of snacks for everybody. And it included 6 tubs of Aldi's Pringles, Snack Right I think they're called, because they are better than normal Pringles by the way. Anyway, we didn't open them. So I took it upon myself to eat all 6 of them in 5 days. Because they were in my house, and I wasn't getting rid of them, because they're that good. And the only way I was getting rid of them as soon as possible was eating all of them. I told my wife, and she said, I have no doubt you're going to do it. She thinks I'm addicted to crisps, which could be true. It was a feat. I was absolutely proud of myself. And you know what's funny as well? I didn't even gain any weight. I balanced it out other parts of the day, which is the key to making a sustainable diet. Definitely would not recommend though. My point is, the environment of your kitchen will massively dictate how your eating is likely going to go over the course of the week. I say week because we do our weekly shopping, don't we? And if those 6 tubs of crisps were not in the house, I couldn't eat them. But buying like I did, I had these dense caloric temptations all at my convenience. If I didn't buy those 6 tubs and they actually got eaten by somebody else, I wouldn't be eating them, because then they wouldn't be there in the first place. So your environment plays a massive part in your success, especially if you spend a lot of time in the kitchen. If the place where you eat and prep food is full of foods that aren't conducive towards your goals, what do you really think is going to happen? That is like abstaining from sex, but spending your spare time in a brothel. What are you expecting? Nobody buys massive bags of crisps or a large share bar of chocolate and then rationally divvies it up over the course of a number of weeks, do they? Can I just say as well, with these kinds of foods out on display and in arm's reach, your kid sees all that too and thinks, fine to eat these, dad does it. Alright James, so it's a little bit important. Why can it be the cause for failure in my diet? So the kitchen might not be the actual reason to cause the failure. I can't say bad kitchen and smack its arse. But I would say why most people fail with their eating is because they don't plan. And because they don't have a plan of meals walking in the kitchen in terms of reasonable calorie-friendly meals conducive towards their goals, it then impacts what gets made. And with that lack of planning, it means you're more likely going to blow off making food. And at work you'll go, screw this. I'll just have the pizza at lunch because it's on offer. And then over the course of the weeks and months and years, those poor choices catch up with you. Whereas if you had a plan to make 5 lunches for your next 5 days of work, you already have the choice made for you. And if you did go for the pizza, but you took your lunch with you, you'd hopefully be pissed off afterwards and learn from it. You'd maybe realise, God, that pizza was expensive and it wasn't worth it. I feel terrible now. Fall asleep behind my laptop. Also just thrown a few quid in the bin with that lunch going to waste. The lunch wasn't that overly exciting, but it helped me feel good. Now, I cannot be arsed with the gym. There are people out there who genuinely hate cooking, which absolutely blows my mind. They moan about their health, but won't cook because they hate it. Same people who hate the gym, but want to get a better body. And yes, you can still have a pretty decent diet eating out all the time, but I would guess most people who eat out every night aren't choosing salads. There's nothing worse than going to a restaurant and choosing a salad. How depressing. Imagine going to a Miller and Carter or Nando's, popular for their meat, and you order a salad. Boring! The difference between failure and success is simply sort out what's available in your kitchen, and that'll be when you shop. And a way to get better at shopping is a simple shopping list. The pen is mightier than the sword and all that. And you can do other things like prep your meals a week in advance. Only buy what you're going to eat, within reason obviously. You do have kids to look after, so let them live a little. It is child cruelty if you let your kids snack on broccoli. As I mentioned before, having a plan is better than having none at all. You can't guarantee success, but you can improve the chances of it happening by grabbing your kitchen life by the plums. Also making cooking easy and convenient for you, which we're going to address now. So people who hate cooking are the same people who hate cleaning up so much they'd rather order a takeaway or eat off of paper plates, so they don't have to clean up. And there are people out there like that, FYI. Bottom line is you're probably just terrible at it. People in their 30s who cannot cook genuinely scare me. Cooking a decent meal for your date or your partner could be the difference between them getting naked or you sleeping on the couch. So what I'm going to do is recommend some kitchen appliances for you to make life easier and get more people naked for you hopefully. And this help goes from like uni students who only have a wee corner to cooking to people who still cook way into their 80s. I think there are some kitchen appliances out there that good, they're arguably better than the standard appliances in your kitchen. The problem with that though is if you remove them from your kitchen, it'll look questionable. Imagine taking home the date we spoke about earlier. She's wanting to stay over and asks, where's your kitchen? And you say, oh, I don't really have one. I just use plug-in appliances instead and have the fridge freezer in the corner. You would look like a serial killer. I remember when we got our kitchen renovated, I genuinely had a thought and said to my wife, we actually need an oven. An air fryer does everything an oven does. Funnily enough, we got two. It would have been a terrible idea looking back. And frankly, one she would never have agreed to in the first place. Because we cook a lot of things like cakes and roasts, and a roast wouldn't fit in the wee air fryer drawer. I also asked, why do we need an induction hob? Or 4 rings of them for that matter? Can we not just get 2? Or can we not just get a plug-in one instead? Because how many people realistically have 4 rings on at the same time? And she listened. She took all my points on board because that's what a living wife does. So we compromised and we stuck with the 4 hobs. And then I said to her, why do we need a sink when we have one in the bathroom? Can we not just wash our dishes in there? Or when we have a bath or a shower? No, that was a joke. Anyway, first appliance. Air fryer. The benefits are is it heats up and cooks food quicker than an oven, meaning less energy, overall less wait time. It evenly cooks also. The basic cookers as well, you just simply throw things in there that are raw or frozen and come back to it later. And this one is more for convenience. You'd be the go-to chef in your halls at uni if you had one of these. It's called the King Pro. Apparently it has 18 settings for cooking. I call bullshit though, because one of these settings is called jam, but as I read this out though, I think it's because it can set the temperature perfectly, which you need for making jam. It was expensive, I'm sure. I've had mine for almost a decade, but I bought it for the convenience and variety in cooking. But the best setting on there is a slow cooker, which I think everybody should have, but you can obviously just buy an individual slow cooker for like a tenner online. Again, these appliances can be on the large side, but as time goes on, they're going to get better and more compact. But I prefer to buy these appliances that do multiple things. Like if you had a garage you could only fit 3 pieces of gym equipment in it, you wouldn't pick a leg press or a preacher curl station and an ab machine. You'd be smart with your choices and build a squat rack and cable station and get a bunch of dumbbells. Bits of equipment that do a ton of different things rather than just one thing each. And that's the attitude I've got towards the kitchen as well, to give yourself variety. Also the things mentioned above, you don't need them. But if I had the choice of cooking 2 kilos of chicken breast, washing them, marinating them, brining them, getting the oven on, getting spices on them, prepping the tin foil, cooking them and then having to do the cleanup after, and then tidy up later on, or throwing them all in the slow cooker and coming back to it in a couple hours time after the appliance has shut itself off automatically and keeps everything warm when it's done, it's pretty obvious what I would choose. Last one as well, ever made a protein shake and the powder hasn't mixed properly? Instead of getting these plastic shapers that don't blend properly, I would look into getting an electric blender. Even make it portable, and you can obviously throw things in there like fruit and oats for an on-the-go breakfast or smoothies and things like that. You can also do other things like make sauces and soups for dinner. I'm not associated with any of these, by the way. I'm too small time. I would take a sponsorship from Ninja any day though. Hint, hint. A few other quick ones to mention are like mandolins. They make chopping fruit and vegetables easy for you and also make salad in a convenient box. A thermometer, so you know your meat is safe to eat. A grill press for wraps and toasties and baguettes. Maybe even a trusty egg boiler. Stuff like that. The idea of introducing you to these kinds of things is to then make cooking in the kitchen become slightly more tolerable. And then you can look into other techniques to make food taste even better, like marinating, brining, tenderising and all that kind of stuff. Panties will be falling off your dates and partners in no time. And saying that note, and I'm being serious, I don't buy the I hate cooking excuse. I don't understand how you can hate something that arguably impacts how you're feeling on your day quicker than what food does. You're just lazy and making excuses. But that's why I've made these videos, to help out. I even went one better and made 31 emails that are free to help out, which cover things like weight loss, meal prep, help in the kitchen, social occasions, to give you a head start. All useful information from a certified nutritionist. It's also why I recommend you watch this video, because it's about making your very own diet that you cannot fail and taking ownership of it for once in your life. Until next time, my friend, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video.